Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I want to touch bases on the Amanda Ensing and the Sephora situation, along with this whole movement of conservatives thinking that they're oppressed. I just want to say rest in peace to my eyelash. Throughout the whole video, this thing is trying to jump off my face, and I did not feel it. But then as I'm editing, I can see that it's truly trying to jump off. So excuse it and I'm sorry. And just kind of tap into it and also discuss misconceptions about liberals. So if you're interested in having this conversation with me, by all means, stay tuned. But if this is not your cup of tea, if you're only here for the makeup and not here for the commentary that might get real sometimes, I definitely understand. But before you get all cozy, there's a subscribe button that's located over here. But before you go ahead and click that button, I want to let you know what you're subscribing to. I do, do commentary videos sometimes. Sometimes it's about, foolish commentary, and sometimes we're going to talk about politics. And not that I'm not political, but there's certain things that affect my community that I feel like I have to talk about, that I need to talk about, that I want to get things off my chest, that I'm going to do here on my little miniature platform. So if you're for the makeup, for the commentary, just for a good time, a real talk, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Alongside of it is a notification bell. Go ahead and click both. They go together. So it's right there. Click it. Welcome to my channel. There is a subscribe button that's located right here. Alongside of it is a notification bell. Stay tuned. I want to start off saying that I did not film this look. I end up liking it, even though I can never, ever make my eyes the same. I don't know what it is about your hand movements or the way you position your hands when you're doing your eyeshadow, but if you're trying to be exact and symmetrical, it just never works out, at least for me. So yeah, I didn't. I didn't record it, but I do have a look coming for you for Valentine's Day, but I just wanted to stay along the whole Valentine's Day theme. So here you go. But what I will do for you, even though I did not record the look, I will leave what I used down in the description box in the event that you are interested in any of the products that I used today. So at this point, we all know that Amanda Ensing is. She is a beauty influencer here on YouTube that has over 1.4 million, subscribers or whatever. But from my understanding, her career was declining up until the point she decided to jump on the conservative bandwagon, or at least the, Trump supporter movement. And then that's when she started to pick up traction, and then, here we are. She had this this sponsorship with, Sephora, or an outside vendor of Sephora, and they end up dropping her because of some of the things that she would say on Twitter. So mind you, let her tell it. She's going to say that it's because she's a Christian and she's a conservative. And I could understand where she might even get that idea from, because when she already recorded her video, she already did her thing, and then, someone on Twitter brought it to Sephora's attention and stated that Sephora was problematic. So I can see where her issue is coming into play when it comes down to that. But I think for me, my qualm is, it's not because, I don't think even the person on Twitter even said, oh, she's a Christian and she's a conservative, so why are you supporting her? That's not the case. That is her narrative. And I need her to take responsibility for what comes out of her mouth, or what she tweets, rather. People don't seem to understand. It's not about being conservative. It's not about being Republican. It's about supporting that dude and everything that he stood for. So if you voted for him, if you backed him, that means that you stood for everything that he was about, and he was trash. So it's like, even for some Republicans, they're just like, yo, he's not a part of our squad. This man incited violence, incited hate, just bigotry just all over the place. So if you stood with him, we're all looking at you sideways. We're like, okay, well, how do you stand with a person who has so much hate for everybody? I don't understand where people are getting conservatives and Christianity mixed up. I think that Americans have tarnished the definition of what it is to be a true Christian. And this is where I feel like it gets mixed up between, okay, well, conservatives are here, liberals are here, and, liberals are just, all wild and willy-nilly and just don't care about nothing. That's not the case. One, there are a lot of liberal Christians. Hello. But to think that Christians only fall on the right side of the fence is false. One, some of us liberal Christians choose to pick and choose our battle. Now, if we're going to sit here and talk about the way God wants us to live and the way God wants us to act, based on the true definition of a Christian and based on those who actually read the Bible, Amanda, you're doing things all wrong. You're completely idolizing a man who has now lost an election, who is now going to go up for trial this week as far as being impeached. And it's just like all your eggs are in one basket in reference to this guy. And I will put up a post, that you had of him saying that, what this is going to be biblical in reference to him. Like, do y'all not understand the worshiping that was being done towards Donald Trump and how unhealthy and cult-like that is? And then y'all want to stamp Christianity and say that's of God? Make it make sense to me and tell me where in the Bible that's okay. So it's like, who are you to sit here and talk about how the liberals are and what we're not? And then you guys are over here worshiping someone who's in office for only 4 to 8 years. And because things didn't go your way, it's like, it's still, you're throwing God in it. So what makes you think that God didn't want him to lose? What makes you think that right now in this moment with Joe Biden being in office, why isn't that of God? Or even if it isn't, who are we supposed to rely on? Man or God? Are we sitting here focused on what the government is doing or what God is doing? Pick a lane, pick a struggle. Where are you going? So when it comes down to Amanda losing her sponsorship, I can understand, she banked on that money. I can understand people trying to pay their bills and then now all of a sudden things are being snatched from you. I mean, we don't know what the status is. She's still out here talking. I can't imagine them not paying her for doing doing what she said she was going to do, and she did do it. Her video is down now, so I don't know what the status is, and nor I don't think that she's able to discuss it legally. At least we don't know. She went on a conservative platform or whatever, talked about her struggle with Sephora and them dropping her, and of course it went back to just being a conservative and Christian and all this other stuff, and that she's gonna start a new line called Makeup Great Again. It's so corny. Half of these makeup companies are conservative. The good majority. Most rich people are conservative. Like, give me a break. It's so corny, and I wish someone would sit here and tell her, like, girl, you sound like a complete dum-dum. Like, we're rocking with you with the Christianity. We're rocking with you if you're conservative. No one cares which side of the fence you lean on. But when you're sitting here, like to point the finger, like to judge, and like, to be just extra, and then when people start sitting here arguing with you and they start sitting here trying to debate with you to see what you're about, you can't handle it. It's baffling to me. And I was sitting here trying to look up, what conservative beauty influencers are out there. No one cares whether or not you're a conservative or a liberal. I think at this point it's about clocking your moral compass. knowing what's right from wrong, knowing that it's wrong to hate people for the color of their skin, knowing that it's wrong to hate people for their sexual orientation, knowing that it's wrong to discriminate someone based on their ethnicity, knowing that it's wrong. And even when people sit here and talk about, whether or not, she's white one minute, she's, Puerto Rican the next minute. I mean, listen, I saw the pictures. I saw the difference in, what she looks like. Now, what I'm not going to sit here and do is overly criticize her about what she decides to look like now. Like, okay, a lot of white people tan. A lot of people, dye their hair or whatever. And then now that curly hair is in, a lot of people are embracing their curls, and that's including white people. So I don't, however she identifies is how she identifies. Don't care. And at the end of the day, truth be told, if this woman is full of BS, it's gonna come out. Things are not gonna go according to how she wants. God will definitely handle her the way that he needs to handle her if she's not doing what she's supposed to. Point blank, period. That's how this works. For those who don't believe in God, if you believe in karma, what goes around comes around. It kind of goes like that. But nonetheless, I was sitting here trying to look up conservative, beauty influencers, and I couldn't find anybody who was bold enough to sit here and say that they are. I did come across a person that, she will remain nameless in this in my video. But the things that she has said in one of her videos, just took me for a loop. But I would like to address the things that she was saying in her video and kind of respond to it. So let's go for it. She said that conservative women are the backbones of America. I don't know where she got that from and who spoon-fed her that. The backbone of Americans, period, are the natives and African Americans. I'm not saying that conservative women didn't do their part in history when it comes down to, the right to vote or do whatever the case is. I don't know. But let's keep it a buck. That's not the case. Conservative women prioritize their marriage and children. What do you think liberals do? We don't care about our husbands, our wives, our children. What makes you think that only conservative women care about those things and we don't? This is when y'all get to start talking too much and don't know what you're talking about. Just because we like to stay out of people's businesses, and just because we don't sit here and overly, criticize someone else's marriage, what makes you think that we don't care about our own? Conservative women support their husbands. Girl. Talk to mine. Conservative women teach the strength of women both inside the home and out. Liberal mothers, what do you think they teach their daughters to do? As you can see, right now there's been a lot of protesting. There's a lot of movements going on. And from what I can see, that let's use the Black Lives Matter movement. Let's use the Me Too movement. All those two in particular, these two movements were created. What's the word? Is it created that I'm looking for? Were founded by Black women, liberals. And you, and the conservative women that I've seen, y'all follow these men right into the Capitol. Just putting that out there. Conservative women live with values which encourage people to be better. I don't know when you made this video, and if you look this up, you'll find who I'm talking about. I didn't even write her name down. But it was just when you made this video, did you really think that it was just catered to conservative women? Like you guys are the only ones that do this? There's no encouraging on the other side of the fence? People on the left don't encourage each other to do absolutely anything. We don't uplift. I think that's all we do. We don't sit here and prevent people from doing anything, being happy. We don't sit here and judge people for who they are and the choices that they make. But yet you guys encourage folks. So I guess liberal women, we teach We don't teach how to be women. We teach how to be man or to compete with men. If that doesn't sound so dumb, and I understand somewhat of that argument as far as let a man be a man and for women to kind of know your position to a degree. We have worked as women, as a woman. We have worked hard, we have fought hard to be seen, to be heard. We were always put in a position to where we had to be behind a guy, let the man speak, let him go first, let him do whatever. So the women in history who have paved the way, they have worked hard to sit here and to make some noise for us to be able to speak up, to stand up for our rights, to just be vocal. What's the problem? That's why you're able to sit here and be on your YouTube platform saying the things that you say. Conservative women, I guess you don't care about women because you care more about a child in her womb. Now, this is where I think that gets a little sketchy across the whole, not just with conservative women, but Republicans or whatever, just conservatives in general. I understand caring about abortions, babies, all that. I get it, understand it. But why don't you care just as much about people who are grown, just lives in general, adults? Why is it that when a person dies, we have to dig up dirt first, unless it's like the woman who died in the U.S. Capitol? She was a veteran, but let anybody in the Black community die at the hands of police brutality. We want to sit here and dig up their criminal past and then deem them as such, even though they may have not been committing a crime at the time of death. But we have to make sure that their whole crime sheet, is that what it's called? The whole criminal history is on display. Why is that okay? So if you're going to care about a baby's life, an unborn child, then you should care about the all lives that you speak of, not just the ones that are not here walking this earth as of yet. Practice what you preach. Believing in God is passe. Again, I don't know. I know that there are some people who need to believe in things that are tangible. And a lot of liberals are like that, who are, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm like at a brain fart right now. I can't think. I can't think of the word. But some people just don't believe in God. They need to believe in something tangible, like, they believe in science and science alone, or whatever the case is. And that is a person's right. Also in the Bible, God gives us free will. A person can do whatever they want to do. But as Christians, right, if we're trying to get people closer to God, it's not our place to judge people for what they're doing in the now. We live according to how God wants us to live, and then we are to set the example. So our light is going to shine, to which ultimately another person's going to be like, hey, you look good, your spirit looks good, like, what are you doing? And this is your open opportunity to introduce them to God. Now, whether they take it, they take it. Whether they don't, they don't. But when you come off so angry and when you come off so judgy, who are you leading to God? And why would Christianity be a good thing if you're doing the complete opposite of what the Bible is and what God is calling you to do? So when it comes down to Amanda Ensing just saying and doing the most, it's like, I don't know what her goal is. I don't wish ill will on that young lady. I hope that she gets many sponsorships who could care less on what she speaks of and what she does. But she needs to understand that if you sit here and support someone who did incite violence, even though you may not have said anything, if you agree with whatever he's doing, then that's what you believe in also. You could say, well, I don't incite violence, I don't do this, I don't do that. But everything your president said, you rocked with. He's like the most hated president ever. You shouldn't hate anybody. Hating someone is wrong. But he is. No one liked him. When y'all bring up there's 70 million people, yes, there's 70 million people. That's half of the country that rocked with him. And he led those people right into into jail. And no one said anything about that. No one said anything about like this dude left y'all hanging and you still rocking with him. There was some straight up and down, full-fledged Trump supporters. He led them astray, and no one said, well, dang, that was ill. Even though this man has lost, you're still there praising him as if he's your God. You come off a little weird. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. But don't sit here and act as if you shouldn't take responsibility for the things that you support. It's not about you being conservative. It's definitely not about you being Christian. It's about what you're standing for. Freedom of speech isn't an issue. I don't know why people keep saying that. You can say what you want when you want to say it. But when you're on private platforms, just know that you can be removed because you don't own them. Twitter is not yours. It's not a public space. You sign up for it. There are rules and guidelines in order to be up there. So any person can be removed. That whole censorship. You can't go into work just saying what you want when you want to say it and don't expect a repercussion. So come on, like, recognize your wrongs and cut it out. Continue to be a conservative. There's nothing wrong with that. Continue to be a Christian. I rock with it all day long. I love God. But stop using him, to gain clout. Because I think at this point, it's just like you're baiting people in with that. And then it's like you're not even reading the Bible or consuming or living by what's in it. Like, relax, calm down, simmer down. Recognize that, what you did was a little ill. And personally, it wasn't that you did so much that was ill. Is that you were supporting a man who is ill, and who incited violence. And you did. Own that, see where people are coming from, and know that, okay, you may have to be a little bit more careful when you go onto Twitter, when you go onto Instagram, because all eyes are on me. And if you do create your own cosmetic line, more power to you. May God be all up in that. But just know that if you want things to succeed, you may want to do some self-reflection. That's all I got for now. I don't know. This whole conservative situation where people are just acting like, all conservatives are oppressed and, they're like the new slaves and nobody wants to deal with them is killing me slowly. So let me know what your opinions are when it comes down to politics. When it even comes down to, people, YouTubers, anybody speaking on politics, how does that make you feel? Do you feel like, YouTubers shouldn't have a voice in politics? No one should say anything. Everybody should stay in your lane, and you shouldn't know, at least for me, you shouldn't know what my political stance is. Let me know. I'm curious. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to connect with your girl on social media, you can find me on everything Talia's Eye Candy. That's on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And you can find me on my second IG page called Beauty from the Inside Out 365, where I do throw some scripture and some inspirational quotes and whatever else I'm into on that Instagram page. Okay? Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next. Bye.
Es que yo estoy buena, es que yo estoy dura. Yo sé que tú me quieres dar toda la noche entera. Tú no mueves la cadera, yo sé que te desespera. Pero con esta negra no hay quien pueda.